A splendid welcome back, everybody, too. Tell me why.
Okay, so how do we open it?
Okay, alright, so much for that. I made it so traumatic at the end of the last episode because I thought he immediately opens it. I don't know, maybe the right order again. Started with the... Are these letters? Is it Oli? Oh, maybe this is the name of the child she apparently lost? What is... Can I just look around a little for fun? Is this fun? Okay, I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. Examine.
Alright, should be easy enough.
Oh, it's in yellow O. I forgot the other colors, though. Do I not have a yellow O? I probably have a yellow O here. Okay, let me leave. And orange. Here.
Alright, should be easy enough.
I already got the red one right. Actually, this should be it.
Yes.
Cool. Cool. I think. I'm not sure. Oh boy.
Whoa.
Did it just get darker in here?
Ollie. She noticed. I was her son.
Wait, what? Dear Alyson and Ollie, we write stories to understand and be understood. But what good is a story without a first act? I'm sorry I kept mine from you for so long. All my love, goblins.
Why does she have a photo of that tree locked in here?
Another riddle. We have to go for the tree.
Is that...
Leo Ronan.
Leo. L-E-O. Leo. Oli.
Why didn't she tell us about him?
Leo sounds
Why
more
didn't
like
she
a
tell
name.
us any of this?
I mean, it's fucking terrible. That's why. Allie, did we do the right thing opening this?
We did. It's better we know what happened, even...
And it's way too late to ask this question
even
now.
if it's hard. And there's one more thing we need to see.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Talking about a tree?
Come on. Let's go to the dock. It's time to finish this.
I wanted to check out the little blanket.
A baby
Hey,
blanket?
now that we're done with the important stuff, maybe we can take a crack at these?
What? For fun? I thought you want to finish that.
Very old beaver's repair list.
That's the story where the princess's house gets damaged by a storm and the animals help her fix it.
Yeah. What did they do to fix it again?
The very old beaver's repair list. Is this? The beaver fixes the house. Hey, I'm down for some optional. Oh wait, I choose the wrong one now. Read. The beaver fixes the house. Once upon a time in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. One night, a particularly violent storm shook the house. It shook the shingles on the roof and the blankets and the walls. It even shook the beams on which the house stood, blowing the whole thing near to the ground. The princess hid in a close closet, fearing the house would come down on her as she slept. In the morning, the house was still standing, but it was badly damaged. The storm had blown shingles off the roof and planks off the walls and even bent the paths upon which the house stood. The first of things she could fix, but the last concerned her. What will I do? Despaired the wise princess, for though she knew many things, she did not know how to fix the big wooden house. Just then, the old bear came by to see if the princess had any trouble in the storm. When he found her nailing blankets back into the place, he said, "Stop, princess, let me do that for you." "I'm happy to do it," said the princess, "but if you want to help with the roof, you may." When the pair were done with the roof and the walls, they examined the band support post. "I could throw my body against it," said the old bear. "I am very large." He stretched upon onto his his hand legs, being sure the princess could appreciate how very large he was. Dan charged straight at the post. He threw his body against with an impressive thud. The impact moved the post, but too far it ended up bent in the other direction. The wise princess decided more precision was needed. She thought then of the very old beaver who kept an excellently crafted dam. Perhaps she can help. Wonder who the beaver is. She went looking for the very old beaver and found the instructions animal hard at work slapping down mud on a part of her dam that had been blown apart in the storm. Most of the structures wasn't harmed because the beaver was very good at building things. The princess knew she had come to the right place. Beaver, she said, my house was damaged in the storm. Would you help me fix it? I believe I could do that. Yes, said the very old beaver, and she paused at fixing her own dam to follow the princess. That's very kind. The very old beaver examined the big wooden house and nodded. It will be an easy fix, she said, as she sat up riding the post with loud slaps of her tail. When she was done, the wise princess stroked the beaver's head. Thank you, beaver, she said. The wind blew the shingles of the roof and the planks of the walls and even bent this post. Now, thanks to you, I'll still have her home. Think nothing of it, said the very old beaver, who returned to work on her own den once again. That winter, the very old beaver grew ill. Someone's mother. I got confused. I don't know, Eddie's mother died. Maybe that was her? Very ill. She was not able to fix her den nor to give her food. When the princess found out that she set about delivering meals to the beaver. She brought stews of corn and bean and baskets full of bark and twigs from the beaver's favorite aspen. One day, the wise princess noticed that the beaver's den had begun to fall apart. She set about fixing it and thought she was not as talented as the very old beaver. The fix kept the creature warm and dry. Thank you, said the very old beaver. Of course, said the princess, you helped me when the storm blew my house near to the ground. Thanks to you, I still have her home, and I'm happy to do the same. The princess continued to nurse the old beaver until the day she came to the dam, and the forest was still. No birds sang, no branches rustled, no small things skittered within the underbrush. Oh, said the princess, staring sadly at the dam, for she knew the old beaver had passed on. Goodbye, my friend. And that is how the very old beaver saved the big wooden house and how the wise princess repaired her kindness. Okay, so what have we done? The wind blew the shingles off the roof, the planks of the walls, and even bent the post. The roof, the walls, and the post. The roof.
She fixed the roof shingles.
Whatever the wall is there.
She fixed the planks that were blown off the walls.
And the beans.
She slapped the post with it. All right.
Post beans. Whatever.
Damn. That must have been rough on Eddie.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to talk about her.
Dear Marianne, you cover your ears every time I try to have this conversation with you, so I thought I'd have a better chance doing this in a letter. I know you don't like saying goodbye, so keep my melancholy ramblings short and sweet. I want to thank you with all my heart for taking care of me for these past few months. I can't even imagine how exhausting it must have been for you to look after a sick old lady when you also have 2 small children at home. I know you want me to keep fighting this disease and hoping for recovery, but it's always been a great strength of mine to know when it's time to let go. And that time has come. I'd like to ask you for one last favor. Please take care of Eddie after I'm gone. My poor boy puts on a brave front ever since his father died, but I know he's in pain. I would be so much more at peace knowing he still has family. Maybe he could teach the kids how to fish. He loves spending time with them. Thank you for the warmth and the peace you brought to my life. Give the kids a kiss for me, will you? Carol. So it was Eddie's mother, and I slightly remembered that. Okay, how many more of these have we left? I really, oh god, there was many.
The crafty goblin's good deeds.
Of course. The goblins had to help out the creatures of the forest to pay off their debt to the pelican.
Well, what did they do?
You know, I don't really remember.
Let's figure it out. I just don't know which story we're looking for here. That sounds fun. The goblins in the ice cave. Okay, but not now. The pelican helps her friends? No, I don't think that was the one. The pelican forgives the goblins. Yeah, this looks like the picture we just saw. Alright, oh god, this is really a reading episode, but hey, I want to do this. I wanted more background information. Maybe, I'm pretty sure I will need all the episodes. This is a little special episode then. I still hope you guys are interested in it. If not, just skip it and be excited for the next episode where we will probably actually continue the story itself. And maybe finish. It sounds very, very close to end. But for now, the pelican forgives the goblins. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, there lived a pair of crafty goblins in a cave below a big wooden house. They lived with a wise princess who shared as much food with them as she was able, but it was never quite enough. This left the goblins hungry, very hungry, always hungry. One day, as they were out foraging for food, the Pierce pelican landed on a rock and dumped a smorgasbord from her beak, which the goblins knew was magic and never emptied. There were king crabs in red, blue, gold, and scarlet, weeny blue shrimp, pink-shelled scallops, oblong brown clams, purple spiny urchins, and even a prickly red sea cucumber. The food just kept coming. They watched as the pelican had one clam and then took a nap. "Do you think she would mind if we just took a little, if we took just a little?" asked one goblin to the other. "Her beak never empties. She might possibly miss a couple of crabs," said the second, licking her lips. They were agreed, and so they crept over, fletched some crabs, and ran. Oh, they stole from... What was her name? Tesser? Tilly? The old lady who was married to Tom. Was it Tesser? I think it was Tesser. Too many names. I'm not good with names. But apparently this stole from the shop at one point. Sounds like it. The goblins scarfed the crabs, but when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. "She won't miss a handful of shrimp," said one goblin to the other. The goblins scarfed the shrimp, but when they finished, they found that they were still hungry. "Maybe also a few scallops," said one goblin to the other. The goblins scarfed the scallops, but when they were finished, they found that they were still hungry. Sounds like me every time I eat. So they went back for clams and their urchins. And finally even the sea cucumber. Finally, they were not hungry, but there was also nothing left. Just then the pelican woke up. "What happened to my food?" she asked. Unable to lie about it, the goblins confessed the crime. The pelican was dismayed, but she was a charitable-hearted bird, and she could tell the crafty goblins were growing little creatures. "Goblins," said the Pierce pelican, "I will share my food with you, but you must, in return, follow my example and be as generous with others as I am with you. Take that to heart, and I will have considered your debt paid." "But we have nothing to give," said the goblins. "You have your nimble hands and your crafty brains and your loving hearts," said the pelican. The crafty goblins realized how much they had to give, and for the rest of the day they looked for ways to help the other creatures of the forest. Period. They found the stalwart moose struggling with an itchy, hard to reach spot on the back, and so they climbed up and gave it a good scratching. Next, they helped the old bear, who could not get the honey out of a narrow beehive. They climbed up to the top of the tree with the hive and then dropped it, cracking it open. Finally, they found the princess crying over a loss she would not speak about. So, they wrapped their little arms around her in a great big hug and stayed until she felt better. When they were done, they returned to the Pierce pelican. "Did it feel good being as generous as I am?" asked the pelican. "It did," said the goblins. "I'm glad," said the pelican. "We all have problems that we can't solve on our own. But if everyone goes about with generosity in their hearts, then there is always someone on hand to help. But we all must commit to do so, or there may be no one there to help you when you need it." This made sense to the goblins, and they thanked the Pierce pelican for her food and the lures. Of course, by this time, they were hungry again, and that remained an ongoing problem until the day the stalwart moose taught them to fish, but that is another story. And that is how the Pierce pelican forgave the crafty goblins, and how she taught them charity. Okay, so for the moose, they scratched her back. Give me a sec. Stalwart moose struggling with an itchy, hard-to-reach spot. Okay, they scratched the moose's back. They helped the old bear with, climbed up to the top with the honey on the tree, and they hugged the princess. Maybe the right order? Okay, we scratched.
They gave the stalwart moose a good scratch on the back.
Drop the beehive.
They broke open the beehive for the bear.
Beehive. And they hugged the princess.
They hugged the princess when she was crying. Nailed it. Our lives would have been so different if their friendship hadn't gone to shit.
The Pelican Crossing is a specialty gift boutique located near the O'Shea Glacier, catering the guests and channel tourists as well as the Dallas Crossing locals. We specialize in an assortment of high-quality products from home accessories, handmade souvenirs to personalized appeal and locally made art. The Pelican Crossing will be the first store to act as a relay between the buzzing arts and craft scene and customers. In addition to a wide array of novelty handcrafted products, the consumer will enjoy friendly and knowledgeable customer service from Ouija store co-owner Tessa was the right name, and up-and-coming artist Marianne Ronan. This business plan is prepared to obtain financing in the amount of $20,000 to purchase the inventory and to help cover expenses in the first year of operations. In year 1, the Pelican Crossing plans to break even, and in year 2, we plan to generate a moderate profit. Working on the executive summary part of the business plan, what do you think? They wanted to do business, and now it also makes sense why Tessa is the Pelican, like even more. The Pelican Crossing. That would sound like such a cute idea. It's a sad it never worked out. Just as many other things that are so sad here and never worked out and mainly are sad.
The old bear's gifts for the princess. I'm totally blanking on that story. What did he give her again?
Why don't we open up the book and check?
I'm aware of the fact. I could just look for the facts here, but I want to read the stories. Again, if you're not interested in it, if you're bored by it, just skip this episode, and in the next episode, we will continue with the actual story. But I want to do it this way. I'm a let's player. I do my let's play the way I want. You just need to find the right story, though. The bears big paws? No. The goblins in the ice cave? The bear and the princess. This is how she ran into Sam. How she met him the first time. The bear and the princess. Once upon a time, in the ancient and deep forest, the old bear stood on the bank of the river, swiping a salmon on their way to the spawning grounds. Just as he had got his paw on a particular fat one, he heard a woman shouting for help. He considered simply eating a salmon, but then she screamed again, and he lumbered over to investigate. After a short walk, he found the princess clinging to the top of the tree, while the wolf snarled and snapped at the base of the tree. Old Bear would normally not get in the middle of such a situation. After all, as a fellow predator, he understood the wolf's need to hunt. Just some thoughts, but not good enough to share them with you. But when he saw the princess, he was struck by her beauty, and he knew he had to help. With a great roar, the bear heaved onto his hind legs, rising to his full height. The wolf snapped and snarled in his direction, but the bear roared again, and then the wolf took off into the trees, tail between his legs. The old bear fell back down onto a forest and stared up at the princess. She regarded him fearfully. "You can come down." You can come down," he said. "How do I know you didn't save me just so you could eat me yourself?" asked the princess. "I suppose this is a fair question," admitted the old bear, "but I promise I won't eat you." The princess had no reason to trust the old bear, except that he had kind eyes, and so she slowly made her way down the tree. When she reached the ground, the bear only watched her, and so she supposed she was not going to be eaten today. "Thank you," she told the old bear. "Of course," he said. "Can I walk with you back to your home?" "Of course," said the princess, and so the princess and the old bear walked together through the forest back to the big wooden house. After the day, the princess would occasionally find gifts from the bear: a fresh caught salmon, a handful of ripe berries, and newly bloomed bluebell. One spring, when a sudden thaw flooded the path out of the princess's home, the old bear was there, and she rode his back across the river. I hope that's not really what happened. The old bear began to think that the princess should be his mate. The old bear began To think that a princess should be his mate. After all, she had no mate, and she needed one. And he could keep her warm and provide her a much more suitable den and catch fish for her and protect her from wolves. She, in turn, would brush out his fur and pick berries without smooching half of them and scratch that one part of his back he couldn't reach, and with how she took care of the goblins, she would be an excellent mother for his cubs. One day the old bear came with a ring of sprouse and asked the princess to be his bride. "I'm sorry," said the princess. "You are a very good friend, and I appreciate all you've done for me, but I cannot marry you. You're a bear, and I'm a princess. It would never work." The old bear was crushed. "Can we still be friends?" he asked. "We will always be friends," said the princess. "But I will never marry you." Okay, stop rubbing it in, lady. Poor old Sam. The old bear and the princess carried on the friendship, and after 1 year he tried to ask her to be his And after 1 year he tried again to ask her to be his bride, but once again she refused him. Okay, Sam, no means no. This happened 1 year later, and 1 year after that, and then finally a princess said, "Oh, is this really what happened? Old bear, you're my dear friend, and I appreciate all you have done for me, but I would sooner you have left me to the wolves than marry you. And that is how it always be. I have my hands full with the 2 goblins who live under my house, and they are all I need." That wounded the old bear deeply, but it was finally enough to stop his proposals. They remained friends, and he continued to give her gifts of fresh salmon and ripe berries and newly bloomed bluebells, but the old bear never again asked the princess to be his bride, much as he might have wanted to. And that is how the princess befriended the old bear until she refused him. Damn! God, Sam was... he made it pretty clear. Jesus, this lady has been there for 10 years and he still didn't let her go. He was so obsessed with her. You deserve... seriously. Doing it the first time and getting told no. Okay, yeah, we've all been there. We've fallen for someone and this person didn't fall for us. It is our choice then. If we still want to be friends with them. Clearly it wasn't a good idea for him. When we're in this situation, of course we choose to remain friends with this person. Yeah, I'm having a little psychology moment here. Skip it if you don't like it. Usually a person would choose, yeah, of course we stay friends. Because we just can't let go of this person. We're in love with this person. We just try to take a step further to have a relationship with them, and they turned us down. No person in love, usually, the logical thing would be to say, okay, I can't be friends with you right now then. At least not for now. I need some distance. I need to let go of these feelings. If I just stick around as a friend, I will always cling to these feelings. And a worst case, see Sam, and many of us been there, yes, maybe me too. Hoping that if we remain friends and if we just continue spending time together, one day this person will have the same loving feelings as I have. Sam clearly did this, and Sam really should have taken a step back. But of course, especially back then, and I know, I get it. Why that never happened? But hey, maybe life lesson: if you're in love with someone, with a friend, and you're telling that person that, and the person doesn't love you, but this person wants to be friends with you, take a step back at least for a while. My guess, 9 of 10 times it will just hurt you much more in the aftermath if you continue spending time with this person.Maybe deep down, even if you don't want to admit it, you will keep on hoping, oh, maybe one day, if in a few months, if we continue being friends, he will have the same feelings for me, the person I'm in love with will have the same feelings for me. It will just hurt you. If you're in a situation, it's hard, and this will really be bad, but only for a short amount of time. Take a step back, cut the contact, at least for a while. Maybe in a few months, when you fell for someone else, you can be only be friends with this person again. But at least while in this situation, you can't. Happy stories with Happy Person Rose. What was the point here now? What actually is the picture? Collect. What do you want me? Does it have to be the right order? Wait, let me... Walk together through the forest. Gifts. Salmon, berries, bluebell.
Fresh caught salmon?
Berries? Can anyone see berries? Are you a berry or a bluebell?
Some roses, maybe?
Nah, I was wrong.
Maybe not. A handful of ripe berries?
This is correct. And where do we have a bluebell?
A newly bloomed bluebell?
There we go.
Nice. Man, he had it bad. Just couldn't let go.
Oh boy, do I really want to read this? Remember what I just told you, kids, and now we read the letter. Sorry for the note under the door like a prison inmate. You okay? I stopped by and rang a couple times this week, but you didn't answer. I could see the light and the hair left, so I figured you were in, but didn't want to talk. I hope I didn't ruin everything. I know I probably came on kind of strong, but the thing is, I don't know how to talk to women like you. You're strong and kind, and you know so much it's hard for me to know how to keep up. I guess all that went to my heart. But I want you to know I got a message and I'm gonna get you off your hair now, and there doesn't need to be any bad feelings. We can pass on the street and say hello or not. It's okay. P.S. I noticed your car was leaking, so I put some sealant in there. You might need to take it to the shop, though. Let me know if you want me to come with you, because sometimes these guys try to rip you off. If not, no big deal, Sam. Oh boy. You really, really, really should have learned at one point how to fucking let go. Is this the wrong one? Oh yeah, we only have this one left. Okay, last one!
The crafty goblin's loot.
That's from The Princess and the Two Thieves. I drew the original.
And I distinctly remember drawing that cake, which is arguably the best part of that illustration.
All right, Picasso. And you probably remember what the goblins stole in that story, huh?
Is it? Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Is this the first story? Once upon a time, the forest left a big frog in a small pond. Okay, the goblins are stealing something. The princess and the two thieves. Yeah, the cake. The princess and the two thieves. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. The house was built from the strong wood of the forest, and it kept the princess warm and safe. The princess was not a native of the forest, but she never spoke about where she had come from, for it made her cry. She did not have many friends, but that was how she liked it. The forest was big and deep, and many paths led to her house, but not many visitors passed by. The princess was happy to be left alone in a big house in a deep forest. She knew that the forest would provide for her, but that its generosity had to be respected, so she only took what she needed. And for a long time, life was just fine for the princess in the big wooden house. One winter day, when snow blanketed the earth and ice bent the trees low, the wise princess realized that food was disappearing from her house. It was not much at first, only a few fruits and nuts and eggs vanishing during the night. "Maybe it's the birds," she said, "or the mice." And for a time the princess was okay with losing some food, for the winter was long and little creatures needed to eat too. But then small items started to disappear as well. Spoons and plates, forks and knives and blankets. It was as every time she was in one part of the house, something disappeared in another room. "That can't be birds or mice," said the princess. "I think I have a thief." My princess voice changes from story to story, I'm sorry. From story to story, I'm sorry. So, she went outside to look for traces in the snow and noises in the wind, but there was nothing to be found, nor to be heard. "That's strange," said the princess. "Maybe the thief is hiding inside my house." For many days she hunted, looking behind the curtains and under the bed, in the attic and in the chimney, behind poles and under the carpets, but she found nothing. And as she searched, food kept on disappearing, night after night. "I will make a cake," throned the princess, "a big cake, with every egg and fruit and nut I still have, so that I only have one thing to keep my eye on." She spent the whole day making the cake and using everything she had left. The cake she made was so big she could hardly carry it. "If I manage to protect the cake, I'll be able to survive the long winter," she said. So she added a log to the oven, and she kept the big cake safe inside. But the next morning, the log had been opened and the cake had disappeared. At first, the princess cried because the cake was because that cake was the last of her food until the snow melted. But then she noticed 2 trails of tiny feet in the spilled flour, and she followed the tracks to a hidden hatch in the floorboards. This is how the princess realized that 2 tiny thieves were living under the wooden house, right below her feet. Okay, I remember some spoons. Spoons and plates, forks and knives.
What if they took some spoons?
I mean, it must be this stuff, right? I mean, it's going down here. Okay, no, it doesn't have to. They definitely also stole eggs.
I'm pretty sure they stole some eggs.
And fruits?
Maybe they took some of the princess's fruit?
Okay, there was a little try and
it.
error. I wasn't sure about the other stuff, but hey, that
I
worked
always
fine.
wondered where that drawing went. She said it was her favorite, and then one day it just disappeared.
You're the best mom in the world, the prettiest princess. Oh, she kept it here. Because it was her favorite. Nice! We done? Where are you? We are done, right? I don't get an achievement for solving this all. I was actually expecting an achievement. What was about this now?
Gold Lady stays locked up in her castle.
Oh.
Back in your pond, Big Frog.
The ones I collected. Oh, but I didn't have all of them.
We'll let the mangy
This is
muskrat
probably
have
the
his
one
rock back.
that was in the box at Eddie's.
The Ice King goes in the forest, obviously. There you go, stalwart moose.
Oh, but here. Oh, my tummy. Sorry.
That's the pious pelican spot. Crafty goblins go here. The wise princess goes in the big wooden house, of course. The moon hag's gotta be imprisoned in her lake.
I'm missing 4, apparently. That's sad. I don't know. I mean, I made some music when I put them here.
I wish she just explained all this to us.
I mean, you were children. I could imagine maybe later. But clearly she wasn't dealing with all of this very well on her own. So how do you explain it to your 11-year-old children? All right, guys. It was a little special episode. I still hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. I always like to dig a little deeper, and they made it in a very cute way. I really like the stories. We will go down here. I don't know if it's already going to be the last episode. I will actually check once again a YouTube video, just seeing where people who were playing were on this point and how much more time they needed. You know, spoiler free. I just want to figure out if I need more than one more episode. Maybe it will be a longer episode. Maybe we already have the last episode then the next time. For now, like I just said, I really hope you enjoyed this little story time of Poison Rose. Oh, maybe I already have a title for this video. And I hope you will be back for the next, maybe already last episode of Tell Me Why. I will see you there.